Welcome back to part 7 of the silver cell anode filters recovery and refining series of videos. This is our silver solution that we've removed the palladium and platinum from with DMG. It's got some solids in here. I'm going to set this out of the way. I need to filter this. This is our filters that contain the DMG precipitate that we've recovered from our solids so far. I'm going to set this out of the way. This is a flask that contains a little bit of silver solution. We'll add this to our silver cement bucket that's got copper in it and get the silver out of there. This is our filter that has our solids, cake of solids in it. And what we're going to do with this is just put it in a melt dish. Should be metallic solids here, not salts, so we shouldn't have to worry about these drying out on us. That's what it looks like. It's a cake of black solid material. This should have precious metals in it. I'm just going to stick it in this melt dish and store these up. Set this out of the way now because we're going to get more of this out of here. Let me move this out of the way. And I think what we're going to do is use these plastic funnels for filtering our silver solution that's still got DMG junk in it, because these come apart and I can clean these inside. So we're just going to set this out of the way now. We have our filters left back here. We have our solids that still need nitric acid treatments to get all the silver pulled out. If you look down here, I've got our silver solutions that have been cemented out onto pieces of copper in here. Let's see if I can find one. Pull it up. There's a piece of copper. As you can see, there's no more silver coming out of solution on this piece of copper. So that tells me that all the silver and precious metals have been cemented out, and what we have here is just a waste solution. We're going to pull beaker number 1 with our solids and the nitric boil down off the heat source, and we're going to put the filters back up here. Add some water to our filters, just a little distilled water, and we're going to add a little bit of nitric acid to our filters. There's a little bit of precious metals on these filters, so we may as well go ahead and try to get a little bit of that out of those filters, and then use this nitric that I'm pouring in here to do the extraction down here on this beaker in the next step. So I've used about, well, 2 bottles now of these bottles of nitric acid. They each contain 2.5 liters of nitric. So I've used, what would that be, 5 liters of nitric acid so far. Cover this up, add a little bit of heat, and let these simmer. Here you can see a green color in that liquid in those filters, and that's an indication we may have some palladium in there. So that's why we're using that thing, putting the acid in there to try to get some of that out of those filters before we add it to our solids in beaker number 1. But for right now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and filter the solution in beaker number 1 into this filter. And we're going to try to recover some more of those black solids that should be in this material right here. For some reason, the filtrate has turned cloudy after passing through that filter, so I'll have to refilter the filtrate a second time. try to do here is do 2 filtering operations at once. And the liquid that I'm pouring off here will have platinum, palladium, and silver in it. And the solids that are coming over with the pour could have some platinum metals. Got a second filter set up over here. This is the plastic funnel that can be separated. Put in a little vacuum here. And I've got a single filter paper down there. Now we're going to add a double, specially folded filter paper to try to capture all of our solids in here. And we're going to go ahead and filter this solution now in this jug. This is a silver solution that's had all the palladium removed with DFG, but there's still some solids in here. So we're going to filter those solids out into this filter paper right here. I've got the vacuum level trimmed so that I don't cause one of these filter papers to fail. So what I'm going to do is shut off that trim. I'm going to shut off the vent and try to pull the amount of vacuum that I normally do. And let's see what happens here. Hopefully this filter paper won't fail because I've got 2 of them in there. Here we go. The difference between these 2 filtering operations is that this solution that I'm filtering here should contain some palladium in this flask in with the silver. And the solution that I'm filtering over here has already had the palladium removed. So it's just going to be silver in here. I'm trying to get these solids that are in this flask into this filter paper, and then once I get it in there, I'll add it to the rest of the filters that have this material out of this silver solution in this container. This is our silver that we've got from the anode filter slimes, still removing pieces of silver out of there. And we're just going to collect this liquid now. This suspended liquid should be precious metals. Any of the silver that remains in here will stay down in the bottom of the beaker. It won't get poured into this filter. The bucket up top is my cementation bucket. All the silver has been cemented out on pieces of copper in that cementation bucket. So now I'm siphoning off the waste solution down into my silver refining stock pot. It's full of copper also, so that any traces of precious metals that may still be in that solution will cement out on that copper in that stock pot. Get this out of the way. Before I can transfer this silver solution into my cementation bucket, I need to remove all of this cement silver first. This is the cement silver that we've cemented out on copper from this series of videos. It's probably another 10 pounds of cement silver that I'm adding to my cement silver storage bucket. And this cement silver storage bucket already has about 50 pounds of silver in it, cement silver. And so I'm adding probably another 10 pounds of cement silver from this series of videos. This is our cement silver that I have in this bucket. Let's throw it on a scale. See if we can get a weight on this stuff. Looks like 68.3 pounds of cement silver. Take off 8 pounds for liquid in the bucket. So we got 60 pounds of cement silver in this bucket. This is my cementation bucket that has pieces of copper in it to cement the silver out of that solution. This is the last of the solids that I'm filtering out of that large 4-liter flask. These are the mystery solids that I'm not sure what's in this. It's leftover silver solution that's had DMG added to it to remove the platinum and palladium. And these solids form in there, and I'm filtering them out. These are the mystery solids that I've collected in this filter paper, and I'm going to put it in with the other filter papers that have those same solids from this whole process, and put them in this covered dish. Now that the mystery solids have been filtered out, I'm going to pour the silver solution into my cementation bucket and cement the silver out on those pieces of copper in that bucket. I'll move this bucket outside under a rain cover because this will put off some fumes. Got these filters simmering in some nitric acid. Got another cake of black solids in this flask. And what I'll do is just move this out of the way for right now. Here's a look at the solids that we've got left in the beaker. So what I'm going to do now is pour off this nitric acid that we used to boil our filters in. I'm going to pour this off into this beaker number 1 that has our solids. Here, let's go. So do this carefully, hot nitric acid. Here you can see we're getting a vigorous reaction. Going to move this beaker back here off the heat, set it back out of the way, adding a little bit of water, now a little more nitric acid, now let's cover this up. Set this up on the heat and let this react. Unless I'm mistaken, this should be the last nitric acid boil that I need to do in order to get all that metallic silver pulled out of those slimes. I think we've got all the silver finally dissolved out of this. I don't see any fume production going on in there. I'm going to turn the heat off and cool this down. Here you can see that solution is cleared up nicely for us in here. I've still got some to filter. And what we're going to do then is go ahead and move this over to our fume hood and continue doing this filtration operation. I think we've got all the solids in this beaker dissolved at this point. So what I'm going to do is try to move this out of the way a little bit, create a little bit of room for ourselves in here, and move this back a little bit. Now what we'll do is take this beaker of hot liquid up here down off of our heat source. What we have here is this solution's going to have some palladium in it. After I pull it through this filter, and now what we'll do is clean this flask up and get it ready to be used. There should be a cake of black material in this filter up in the funnel, just like this. And this is going to be precious metals. And now that we've got all of the silver dissolved out of this material, or out of this liquid, I'm going to go ahead and cool this down with an ice bath. And then we're going to go ahead and get the solids out of this beaker up here into this funnel. This liquid's going to have some platinum group metals in it. This liquid will have platinum group metals in it. And we'll get all this liquid gathered up and then use DMG to get the platinum group metals out of both of these solutions. Here we've got most of the solution pulled through. We've got another filter cake of black residue from the filters, solids from the filters. Our solution down here is looking nice and clear. Well, I've got this filter set up. I like to go ahead and pour this solution through that filter and collect as much of the black solids as I can. So we're going to add some ice to this and try to cool this down with some ice. Alright, this solution was way too hot to try to pour through that filter. And what I'm trying to do here, since I've got that filter all set up, just go ahead and cool this solution off and pour it right into that same filter that we already got running and try to collect all the black solids that we can. That ice bath did a pretty good job of cooling our solution off here. So let's set it back here out of the way. Here's our filter cake. Looking pretty good. Get this back out of the way. This is our solution that's going to have some palladium in it. Transfer it now into this beaker. I've got to do stuff the hard way. This is going to be our solution, silver solution with some palladium in it. I'm just going to get this out of the way. Let's move this flask down low so we can get in here and work on it. I'm going to start pouring this liquid into our funnel down here now to gather the solids that we've accumulated in here. Alright, I've got all the solution pulled through this filter. Got a nice filter cake in here. And I've got some solids in here. And I don't see any pieces of metal or anything in here. This is all real loose, powdery looking stuff. So I guess what I'm going to do is we're going to take a chance. I'm going to put it in here. This is going to have our palladium in it. Set this aside. Hold this flask up. And what we'll do is I'm going to add these solids now in here to our beaker. I hope I'm not making a mistake here, but here goes nothing. know what? I changed my mind. I'm not going to add this stuff into my filter cake here. I'm going to hold off on that. We're going to figure out something else to do with these solids. But what I will do is, now that I've got this material up here, what I'll do is go ahead and start rinsing this with some water. Alright, we're almost there. Not quite sure what we got in this beaker, but I'm not going to take a chance and add this stuff into my filter cake up here in my good funnel. Let's set this back out of the way for a second. Let's see if we can pull this off now. Here's one beaker of solution that's going to have some palladium in it. And I've got another beaker. What we'll do is go ahead and add our solution that we just filtered. It's nice and clear. And we're going to go ahead and pour that in this beaker here. Try to even them out. That'll be close enough. Here we go. Here's our final DMG extraction. Just going to add this right on in now. You'll notice that the beaker on the right has very little, if any, precipitate in it. That was the last nitric boil, and all the palladium had already been removed at that point. Here we go. We're going to get set up. Filter out our precipitate. If you notice, this beaker has very little, if any, DMG precipitate in it. That's because it was the last extraction that we did with nitric acid. So we'll start with this solution. Here's our palladium extraction in this filter right here. It's pretty good. I'm going to take this and add it to the beaker that has our other palladium extracted filters in it. Just add it right on in here. This is our silver solution that's had the platinum group metals removed with DMG. And what we'll do is I'll let this set And this will make some more of that mystery precipitate, and I'll have to filter that out. This container right here has our filters with the mystery precipitate in it. We're going to just hang on to these and try to figure out what we got in those filters. In this funnel, we have another filter cake. Quite a bit of black solids in there. And what we'll do is just pull this out and add it to the other filter cake that we've already recovered in a previous video. Just add it right on into this melt dish here. The blue liquid down here will have some silver in it, so we'll just add this right into the silver cementation bucket and get the silver out of there. And then these solids back here in this beaker, I'm just going to collect these in a filter paper up here and process these separately, because I'm not sure what that stuff is in there. Kind of looks strange to me, so I'm not gonna add this into our main filter cakes that we've already collected, because I don't know what that stuff is, man. It's weird. But now we've got all the filters, all the anode filters processed, and we've got all our products here now. So this will conclude part 7, I guess. And in part 8, what we'll do is go ahead and start refining our DMG precipitates. And we'll take a look at these filter cakes. These things look real interesting. It's black material, thick coating of black material from our silver cell anode filters. I'm looking forward to trying to get some of the precious metals out of this. So this will conclude part 7 of the anode filters recovery and refining series of videos. Thank you for watching.